Welcome to our Kamayan para sa Kalikasan Forum, proudly organized by Green Convergence. We are now streaming live on our GC official Facebook page. As always, we'll start with a reminder of our Zoom etiquette, followed by the opening prayer and the Philippine National Anthem. Makakalikasang araw po sa ating lahat. And now, our opening prayer for our 426th episode, an offering of our Thanksgiving. Dear God, before we start this meeting, we want to begin with Thanksgiving. During this meeting, we will discuss many things and make many decisions, but we never want to lose sight of our gratefulness to you. Thank you for your faithfulness and provision in our lives. Thank you for each person in this meeting and the unique talents and perspectives they bring. In everything, give thanks. As it says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you. May our hearts be filled with gratitude as we start this meeting, and may it guide us throughout. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, dalas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay, lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisigit, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong baghaw, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal, ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim, lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo, aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Kalikasang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome once again to the Kamayan para sa Kalikasan Forum, brought to you by Green Convergence. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I am David D'Angelo, the Public Relations Officer of the Green Convergence Board of Trustees and also the National Chairperson of Bayanihan para sa Kalikasan Movement. And I'm very excited to be the co-moderator once again for this month's session, the 426th session and the last session for 2025. Our session this month is themed The Birth of Christ and the New Cosmology. It is extra special because we are going to celebrate both Christmas and the ecological paradigm through meaningful discussion by our very special guests, religious leaders who are also in the front line of our missions for the environment. Pero bago po ang lahat, Hayaan niyo po ipakilala ko sa inyo ang aking palaging kasama at co-moderator, ang Media and Communications Officer ng Green Convergence, si Miss Marian Luisa Palo. Muli, mga kalikasang araw, Marian. Advance Merry Christmas sa'yo.
Yes po, makakalikasang araw at maligayang Pasko, Sir David, in advance. At sa ating lahat na narito sa espesyal na session na ito. Welcome once again to the monthly Kamayan para sa Kalikasan Forum, the 426th session with the theme, The Birth of Christ and the New Cosmology. Pero bago po ang lahat, Sir David, let us make a special greeting first on behalf of Green Convergence. This day is not only special because of our great and much awaited discussions ahead, we also celebrate because it is the birthday of Kamayan para sa Kalikasan's original moderator, our beloved Miss Marie Marciano. Miss Marie Marciano has
Miss na miss ko
moderated
na si Miss Marie.
Kamayan. Yes po. She has moderated Kamayan since it was first held in the Kamayan restaurant. Best believe Miss Marie spearheaded way more than half of the now 426 sessions of Kamayan. So, to celebrate Miss Marie's birthday in a special way, we prepared a video presentation for her. So, watch this.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Wow! Happy birthday, Miss Marie! Thank you, Miss Mabet, for the moving video greeting. Literal na moving kasi nakaka-induct po siya. How could I ever continue on being a Kamayan moderator without drawing inspiration and acknowledging what you have long established for this very significant environmental forum with Green Convergence? God bless you always, Miss Marie. So, ayun na nga. We can officially start our exciting program. This afternoon, let us all together take a closer look at how spiritual meaning can guide a development paradigm that honors the Creator's purpose and calls us to be true stewards of His creation. And we invite all of you to participate in the discussions. Share this live stream on your timeline. We are live on Facebook. Tag your friends and invite them to join in the conversation. Back to you, Sir David.
Yes, naman. Happy birthday, Ma'am Marie. Miss na miss ko na kasama ko sa mga forums at ang dami-dami kong natutunan pati sa pagde-design ng souvenir program ng ating Philippine Environmental Summit. So I hope na makabisita rin sa iyo soon, Ma'am Marie. So happy birthday. So we hope you have a great birthday celebration and we hope to see you again soon. All right, Marian, I think we can also greet our participants. So drop your emojis, your heart reactions so we can see you and recognize you also. Dahil Pasko, dapat kumukuti-kutitap ang ating Zoom. Ayan. Yan, ang dami natin ng mga organizations. Andito, tingnan natin mga participants. Ayan, may taga Sister Bing, matagal ko mga na-miss, no? Mula sa Laudato Si, kasama din natin sa Green Convergence. At dyan, si Ma'am Olive, andyan din, si Ma'am Juliet, mayroong taga Kalikas, Green Youth Philippines. So magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Again, and now, panahon na para simulan natin ang ating Kamayan Forum today. Let us hear the opening remarks of the Executive Director of the Miriam College Environmental Studies Institute and a Trustee of Green Convergence. Let us please warmly welcome Sister Marvy Misolas. Makakalikasang araw po, Sister Marvy.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat, mga minamahal naming kapatid at kasama dito sa Green Convergence at of course sa ating environmental movement. Thank you. I think this is a beautiful space where we can share together our reflection, and I hope everybody would be able to share the reflection. Yun po yung ating process ngayong hapon na ito, that it's not only some of us who will give some pointed discussion, pero mas malalim po nating titingnan ito para lahat tayo makapag-share, no? I think to begin this reflection, I would like to invite us, to share. And I did I did take some of the important discussion that has been coming around about the birth of Christ and the new cosmology. So actually the birth of Christ, which we call incarnation, ang sabi po ni Sister Ilia Delio in her book, The Emergent Christ, which she highlighted that patristic and medieval theologians such as Saint Augustine and Saint Bonaventure were the observers of the cosmos. They were really looking at the created being, to really look, and understand God. In fact, Bonaventure wrote that creation is like a book which we can gather insights about God. The book of creation was the first book of humans to know God. The word through whom all things are made, this is in John chapter 1, became flesh so that we could read the book of creation correctly as the book of God. So Jesus, according to Bonaventure, is the book written within and without. It is important to return to the book of creation as the book of God, because creation expresses God. And he further said, creation is not a backdrop of human drama, but the disclosure of God's identity. Ang ganda po nun, di ba? If we can just realize that. So I also took a quote from Karl Rahner that says, he said, he is not merely the one who as creator establishes a world distant from himself as something different, but rather he is the one who gives himself away to the world. Marami po tayong siguro pagninilayan sa mga binasa kong mga quotes dito. But I think to sum it up, our topic for today is that the most, the biggest, I think, energy that prevails creation, that prevails the universe is love. And this is what I think we would like to understand in looking at the birth of Christ and the new cosmology. Maybe it's not new, really new, but I think for our faith, we are trying to understand our faith in the evolutionary process. With the advent of science, the the science of of how do you call it, the evolutionary science and all other new science that I think pointed to a more succinct discussion of of how God is really present in our lives, in our process, in our dynamic discovery of our becoming. So I think one thing that Ilia Delio in most of her book, The Emergent Christ, The Christ and Evolution, is that in evolution, she said, is the arrow of creation. So, yung pagpapatuloy po ng creation hanggang ngayon, simula pa ng 13 point billion years na history natin, ay nandoon po yung pagpapatuloy din ng Kristo, ng pagka-Kristo. So, kasama po tayo doon. And so, this is wonderful to see it in the light of Christmas, in the light of the birth of Christ. We welcome our speakers for this afternoon, Bishop Jerry, Sister Bing, and Bishop, I forgot the other name, but Pantoho, yeah. So Pantoha, no. So thank you very much for being with us, and all who are here today. I hope we have a wonderful sharing this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Maraming salamat, Sister Marby, for your moving and inspiring opening remarks. And for today's Kamayan Forum. Alam niyo po, napakahalaga talaga ano man yung ating relihiyon, no? Yung spirituality, napakahalaga. Dumaan kamakailan yung video ng Sheldon, no? Sa TikTok, tapos kine-question niya, totoo ba o hindi ang Diyos, no? So napakaganda ng pag-usapan ngayong araw itong tungkol sa new cosmology at ano ba yung kahalagahan ng Pasko. So I hope that we will all be inspired with the speakers that we have today, and our faith will be renewed. Okay, I think we got a grasp of now what our team will be for today. Marian, let us now begin the discussions for today's tema.
Yes, thank you, Sister Marby and Sir David. Before we begin, here are a few quick reminders. We'd like to kindly remind our participants on Zoom to avoid any distracting ambient noise. We kindly ask everyone to keep your microphones on mute. This will help ensure that everyone can clearly hear our resource speakers, but we still want to know your thoughts and reactions. No? So feel free to use the chat box to share your comments, your reactions, and then we'll welcome them, keep an eye on them, and may even read some of them later on in the forum. So let's get started.
Thank you for the reminders, Marian. Let me now introduce our first resource speaker of our program. Nagbabalik, miss na ito si Sister Bing. Ang gaganda ng mga napapag-usapan at sharing, lalo na pag magkakasama kami sa mga activities. She will enlighten us with a discussion on Earth as Mother. Let us all warmly welcome Sister Elizabeth Carranza, or better known by many as Sister Bing, the coordinator of the Laudato Si Movement Pilipinas chapter. Mga kalikasang araw, Sister Bing, and welcome back.
Salamat, David. Na-miss ko nga yung Green Convergence din, my Green Convergence family. So, let me just share my PowerPoint presentation. Okay. So, a blessed Advent, everyone. And Merry Christmas na din. And of course, happy birthday, Marie. Thanks to my Green Convergence family for inviting me to be with you and reflect with you on the theme, the birth of Christ and the new cosmology. Nakikita rin pala yung presenter screens. But anyway, you can read with me. But also in particular on the creation of Earth as Mother. The new cosmology refers to the new way of looking at the cosmos or the universe by moving beyond a purely mechanistic view and integrating science, that is the Big Bang and the evolution, with spirituality for deeper meaning. It presents the universe as conscious, purposeful, and continuously unfolding, and that everything as interrelated, interconnected, and interdependent. Among the pioneers of the new cosmology are Thomas Berry and Brian Swimme. In their book, The Universe Story, they present to us the story of the universe from the primordial flaring forth to what they call the Ecozoic era, as a celebration of the unfolding of the cosmos. Let us go through this story of celebration together. In the beginning, there was nothing. A no-thingness that is mysteriously pregnant with energy, with life. Brian Swimme, in his earliest book, The Universe is a Green Dragon, explains that this no-thingness is the ultimate source of all things. In this mysterious realm, elementary particles appear and then disappear. At one point in time, a very tiny particle of great energy emerged suddenly with no antecedent. It just mysteriously leapt out of no-thingness, and it is something that defies explanation. But a little something did emerge and remained, which became the beginning of creation. The density in that small particle of energy was so great that a mighty explosion took place. The energies flew apart, billowing out in all directions, with incredible heat. Trillions of degrees of heat. The primeval fireball. The primordial flaring forth. Let there be light. And there was light. As on the first day of Genesis, the dispersal of the heat energies created space, expanding that space more and more as the particles flashed forth further and further. It was the greatest explosion there ever was and ever will be. The heat cooled down after about millions of years. The light remained. That is why we can see one another, the remnant of that explosion. This awesome event is now artlessly known as the Big Bang. It is the widely accepted explanation of the origin of the universe by the scientific community to date, and is believed to have occurred 14 billion years ago. Some says 13.7, 13.8. Doesn't matter, but billions and billions of years ago. About 12.5 billion years ago, when things cooled down, the very first atoms which could not exist in the heat of the fireball emerged. Hydrogen first, and then helium. The age of matter had begun. Hydrogen and helium atoms were mysteriously being allured, attracted to each other, so to speak, dancing around each other, so to speak, clustering into vast clouds. This allurement or attraction is what we now call gravity, the force of union and communion. Around 10 billion years ago, from this dance of union and communion, magnificent stars emerge. First generation stars. God created the heavens. These stars, dancing together, formed over 100 billions of galaxies. To this day, stars are continuously being born, and new galaxies are being formed. To this day, our universe continues to expand. One of the galaxies is our very own, the Milky Way, which is believed to be home to about 400 billion stars. And then around 5 billion years ago, our solar system was born when a great star which Brian and Thomas named Tiamat in the galaxy Milky Way died. It collapsed on itself, then exploded in a blast. So brilliant, it briefly outshone the stars in the galaxy. A supernova. The death of star Tiamat brought forth new life to the universe. The dying star scattered its mass in a cloud of dust, the stardust. In these stardust were elements of carbon, calcium, iron, oxygen, and all the elements, in fact, that are the components of life and that make up our world today and our bodies. We inhale oxygen and exhale carbon. Calcium is in our bones. Iron is in our blood. All these elements are in our bodies, and it all came from the cloud of dust that star Tiamat scattered. We come from dust, remember? We are reminded by this on Ash Wednesday. We come from dust. But in the new cosmology, we can say we come from stardust. Anyway, for eons, the cloud of dust floated around the edge of Milky Way until gravity drew the hydrogen and helium atoms back into the hot, dense centers, giving birth to second-generation stars. One of them is our glorious sun, and God created the sun. The sun showed its giftedness to build community. Around 4.5 billion years ago, the rest of the stardust filled with energy kept swirling and dancing in space, gradually forming the planets in the orbits formed by the sun. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, including our beloved home planet, Earth. And God created Earth and chose her to be mother and home to all of life. As if we hear God saying to Mother Earth, I have chosen you to be mother and home to all of life. Around 3.5 billion years ago, life emerged in planet Earth. Earth had positioned itself at just the right distance from the sun for it to evoke chemical reactions that got the process going. That life began in Earth's womb, in her first oceans. And God said to Mother Earth, let there be life. And there was. In the beginning, it was a very simple life form, a tiny single-celled microorganism called the prokaryote. And then the eukaryotes, which evolved from the prokaryotes. Then trillions of eukaryotic cells gathered to become one mind as multicellular organisms. And finally, the evolution of life on Earth. God said, let Earth produce every kind of living creatures. Invertebrates, vertebrates, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Faithfully empowered by the Creator from within, Earth, or Mother Earth, continued to give birth. Grasslands spread, and in the grasslands, something marvelous emerged late in creation's story. The flowers. They gave color and fragrance to earth. This was the Cenozoic era, the time of Earth's greatest creativity and productivity, when a vast number of species unfolded, including different species of plants which became source of energy for the animals. Mother Earth discovered its nourishing gift. Around 4 million years ago, the more advanced primates, the apes, led to the emergence of human beings. When the climate became very dry in Africa, drying up the trees where apes lived, they had to adapt to changing conditions and stood on the ground and began to walk on two legs. They developed the ability to use simple tools such as sharp-edged stones. From them, a new species came into existence, the hominids. For a long, long time, there were different kinds of hominids existing together. The Homo habilis, the Homo erectus, or the upright man, the Homo neanderthalensis, and the Cro-Magnon. Then 100 years ago, from one kind of hominids, our species, the Homo sapiens sapiens, emerged. God created humankind, male and female, God created them. So we can reflect on this. It took billions of years for God to make us. It took billions of years for Mother Earth to bring us to life. Being more sophisticated and having better brains than the previous hominids, our first ancestors learned to construct tools and develop simple technologies. They learned to harness fire. They invented needles from bones and made clothing for themselves, developed speech, and started telling stories. So take note, we are a storytelling species. They also learned music and arts and began to bury dead with care. For about 60,000 years, our ancestors lived with other hominids that eventually died out. Our species survived presumably because of our ancestors' ability to adapt to changing situations. And we have that ability too. For thousands of years, our ancestors hunted and gathered produce from the land, moving from place to place. So the period of hunting and gathering. And then, around 10,000 years ago, they stopped roaming. They settled down in villages and began to plant and to tend animals. A major cultural change in a way of life that was thousands of years old. As time went on, around 5,000 years ago, civilizations were created. Then monarchies ruled and possessed most of the goods of the earth. The great world religions, philosophy, the sciences developed. So we have these great religions. And then we have these great philosophers and scientists. And my favorite, Albert Einstein. So human brains had so developed that it discovered the powers of the universe and harnessed them for the good use of humanity. But around 400 years ago, the coming of the scientific and technological revolution. So these scientific and technological revolution began. And as our knowledge continued to increase, we also continue to desire and work for development, which is eventually at the expense of Mother Earth. And so this is where we are now in the story of creation. Just some photos, where we are now and what's happening in our common home. So we see these slides silently. Humans are hurting Mother Earth. Humans are destroying the home planet of all creatures. The current ecological crisis. In Laudato Si 1, Pope Francis invites us to contemplate on earth as our mother. Laudato Si mi Signore. Praise be to you, my Lord. In the words of this beautiful canticle, Saint Francis of Assisi reminds us that our common home is like a sister with whom we share our life, and a beautiful mother who opens her arms to embrace us. Praise be to you, my Lord, through our sister, Mother Earth, who sustains and governs us, and who produces various fruits with colored flowers and herbs. Anna informed me that our third speaker will not be around, and so to make our reflection a little longer, so I added these slides or reflection moments. So I invite you now, in the presence of our triune God, exuberant love, eternal light, and breath of life, I invite you to focus your gaze on this image. While gazing on it, be aware of your breath and of the beating of your heart, whispering to your heart, Earth is a beautiful mother. while you inhale. And while you exhale, whispering to your heart, who opens her arms to embrace us. So we have this mantra. Inhale deeply, whispering to your heart, Earth is a beautiful mother. And exhale, whispering to your heart, who opens her arms to embrace us. Take another deep breath with the same mantra and gently close your eyes, taking into the core of your being this image which you have been gazing upon. In the space within you, where you are now, with your eyes closed, see Mother Earth in all her grandeur and beauty. Feel Mother Earth lovingly embracing you. Listen to her heartbeat and try to synchronize your heartbeat with hers. In a few more moments, continue to feel the loving presence of our dear Mother Earth. Now, thank her for this sacred moment of being in deep communion with her. When you are ready, take a deep breath and inhale again deeply, whispering to your heart, Earth is a beautiful mother. And exhale, whispering to your heart, who opens her arms to embrace us. Then gently open your eyes and come back to our gathering space. To continue, Pope Francis goes on in Laudato Si 2. This sister now cries out to us, or this mother now cries out to us because of the harm we have inflicted on her by our irresponsible use and abuse of the goods which God has endowed her. We have come to see ourselves as her lords and masters, entitled to plunder her at will. The violence present in our hearts, wounded by sin, is also reflected in the symptoms of sickness evident in the soil, in the water, in the air, and in all forms of life. This is why the earth herself, burdened and laid waste, is among the most abandoned and maltreated of our poor. She groans in travail. So once again, in the presence of our triune God, exuberant love, eternal light, and breath of life, that's how I address the triune God, my very personal way of calling our triune God, which I'm sharing with you. I'd like to invite you to focus your gaze on this image. While gazing on it, Be aware again of your breath and of the beating of your heart. Inhale deeply, whispering to your heart, Sister Earth or Mother Earth now cries out to us. And exhale, whispering to your heart, because of the harm we have inflicted on her. Once again, inhale deeply, whisper to your heart, Sister Earth or Mother Earth now cries out to us. And exhale, whispering to your heart, because of the harm we have inflicted on her. Then take another deep breath with the same mantra and gently close your eyes, taking into the core of your being this image which you have been gazing. And then, with your closed eyes, in the space within you where you are now, see Sister Mother Earth crying in pain. Feel her pain as if it is your very own pain. Again, listen to her heartbeat and try to synchronize your heartbeat with hers. In a few more moments, continue to feel the pain of our dear sister, Mother Earth, and then express to her your sorrow and ask her for her forgiveness. Now, thank her for this sacred moment of being one with her in her pain. When you are ready, take a deep breath. Inhale again deeply, whispering to your heart, Sister Earth, Mother Earth, now cries out to us. And exhale, whispering to your heart, because of the harm we have inflicted on her. Then gently open your eyes and come back again to our gathering space. To continue, the Chief Chattel in his famous speech given around 1854 to American settlers said, "Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread within it. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. All things are connected like the blood which unites one family. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. The deer, the horse, the great eagle, these are our brothers. Whatever befalls the earth, befalls the children of the earth. Earth does not belong to us. We belong to earth. We are part of earth and it is part of us, or she is part of us. In Laudato Si 207, we read, "The Earth Charter asked us to leave behind a period of self-destruction and make a new start." Here, that's Pope Francis, I would echo that courageous challenge. So hear the voice of Pope Francis. He just celebrated his birthday on December 17th, so just 2 days ago. So let's listen to him. As never before in history, common destiny beckons us to seek a new beginning. Let ours be a time remembered for the awakening of a new reverence for life. The firm resolve to achieve sustainability. The quickening of the struggle for justice and peace. And the joyful celebration of life. And then in Laudato Si 13, he says, "The Creator does not abandon us. He never forsakes his loving plan or repents of having created us. Humanity still has the ability to work together in building our common home." Let us take these words of Pope Francis into our hearts as we continue to celebrate the unfolding of the cosmos from the primordial flaring forth to the Ecozoic era. What is the Ecozoic era? Ecozoic is a composite word created by Father Thomas Berry from the following words. Echo, which is the Greek word for oikos, which means house, home, household. Zo, or zoo, zoa, the animals, life. And finally, ik, which means era, or a given period of time. So this word, the Ecozoic, brings to us or pertains to a home that is full of life in a given period of time. It is also the dream of Mother Earth that all forms of life have a home and the whole of creation is full of life. And it is God's dream and promise as well. New heaven and new earth. Fullness of life. Remember, in John 10:10, Jesus said, "I have come that you may have life and have it to the full." So we are now called to walk and work together to bring about the Ecozoic era. This slide summarizes what I have been sharing so far. So you see there for the 14 billion year and on, because it's continuing of evolutionary creation. So from the 14 billion years ago, Big Bang, and then we went through all these moments of creation, and now the current ecological crisis that we are experiencing towards the Ecozoic era. So this is the new cosmology, the new story presented in the Universe Story, the book, The Universe Story of Thomas Berry and Brian Swim. So this is the 14 billion year and on story of creation, the story of the universe, the story of Earth and the Earth family to which we belong. Our very own story the story of you and of me, of all humanity and of all creatures. So parang if we look back, we are the universe in human form. I am the universe in being form, and I am 14 billion years old, and so are you, because the potential of our being was already there from the very beginning. In faith, we see that within this story of the unfolding of creation is God's love. Laudato Si 77, in Laudato Si 77, we read, creation is of the order of love. God's love is the fundamental moving force in all created things. This season of Advent and Christmas, we celebrate God, creator of all, approaching us out of great love as a creature. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son. John 3:16. So the Word became flesh and lived among us. God became flesh and lived among us. The birth of Christ 25 years ago. Some historians say it's plus 4 to 6 years. So 2031. This painting is my very own painting on Christmas of 2018. So you see there Joseph. So the yellow is the light, like the Big Bang. The red is God's love within the story of creation, God's energy of love. And there you see Joseph protecting Mary and Jesus. And you see the womb where Jesus was conceived, the womb of Mary and the womb of earth. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him, not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life. So Marvi already mentioned this biblical text in her introduction. John 1, 1-4. John presents to us a very deep truth, which theologians like Dennis Edwards present as deep incarnation. God became flesh in Jesus, in all humanity, that includes you and me, and in all living creatures, and in the whole world of interrelated organisms. Deep incarnation. God took on flesh in all creatures, in the whole of creation. Life became flesh in the womb of Mother Earth since 3.5 billion years ago until now. Life is being born from the womb of our dear Mother Earth. Brian Swim said, we were not put on earth. We came out of earth. And so we are earthlings together with all creatures, human and other than human. I love these photos from the internet, of course, of Earth being our mother. And then this photo also is very beautiful. Happy Earth Day. So every day is Earth Day, we say. Yes, every day is Earth Day because every day a new life comes out from Earth. Human life, other than human life. So let us celebrate Mother Earth and the whole of creation on our birthdays. We are celebrating now the birthday of Marie. We celebrate Mother Earth and the whole of creation. Let us also celebrate Mother Earth and the whole of creation on Christmas Day, the birth of Jesus, the birth of the creature God. Let us celebrate during all birthdays, even the birthday of your dogs, your cats. All birthdays, that is every day, somebody, a being celebrates his or her birthday, their birthdays. So let us celebrate during all birthdays God, the Creator, becoming a creature, an earthling. In Jesus, in you, in me, in all humanity, and in all creatures, in the very womb of Mother Earth. So the 14 billion years and on of evolutionary creation is also the 14 billion years and on of God giving birth to life. This includes the helium and the atoms, the early atoms, the hydrogen and helium giving birth to stars, stars giving birth to galaxies, the supernova giving birth to the first generation stars and the second generation stars and all the elements of life. And then Mother Earth giving birth continuously to new forms of life. The complexity and novelty together in the unfolding story of giving birth of the God, the Creator, and of Earth, our Mother. So God, Julian of Norwich said, just as God is our Father, so God is also our Mother. So God the Mother, I see, I don't know if you will agree with me, God the Mother is testified by the entire cosmos. So God makes her motherhood known in the motherhood of the universe, in the motherhood of earth, in the motherhood of all mothers on earth, including your mother, my mother, and you who are mothers, all of us. I am a mother too. I did not give birth, physically, but I am also a mother. So God the Creator became, so this Christmas, let us celebrate God the Creator becoming a creature, an earthling on the womb of earth, and God the Mother becoming a human child in the womb of Mary. So I bring into the space also our beloved Mother Mary, and in the words of Meister Eckhart, a German theologian and mystic, I read, "What good is it to me that's Meister Eckhart, that Mary gave birth to the Son of God 1,400 years ago. So that's his time, Meister Eckhart. And I do not also give birth to the Son of God in my time and in my culture. We are all meant to be mothers of God. God is always needing to be born. With that, I would like to close my sharing by adapting those beautiful words of Meister Eckhart. And this is the words that have been coming to me or flowing in me while I was preparing this presentation. What good is it to me that earth gave birth to the Creator God over 2,000 years ago, and I do not also give birth to the Creator God in my lifetime on earth? We are all meant to be mothers of God in our lifetime on earth. God is always needing to be born on earth. We are all meant to be Mary. We are all meant to be earth. And finally, I end with this poem of mine, which I composed on April 21st, 2019. That was Easter Sunday, that was Easter Sunday and eve of Earth Day that year during my retreat at Bahay Kalipay, Palawan. So I'd like to invite you to silently pray this prayer with me. It's a prayer poem. Spirit of God, dwelling in the womb of earth, I hear your voice calling me to embody her and to give birth to you in this time of ecological crisis. Come, my beloved, be earth, be terra, for through you the love of God will be born anew. In humble trust, I stand and step forward. Here I am, gently walking on earth. I ground myself to her. By the way, when this poem came into my heart and mind, my being, I was walking barefoot on earth. Gently walking on earth, I ground myself to her. Grounding, earthing, listening to her heartbeat and synchronizing my heartbeat with hers. Grounding, earthing, listening, her heart beating in mine. Grounding, earthing, listening, opening, offering my whole being to become her, to be earth, to be terra. Grounding, earthing, listening, opening, offering, becoming, being. I am earth. I am terra. Yes, I am terra. I am earth. And so are all of you. Thank you for listening. Let us continue to listen to the heartbeat of Mother Earth, which is the very heartbeat of the Triune God. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Sister Bing. Wow, I was so moved, Sister Bing. We truly have so much to love and value and take care of in life. So much proof as well that our spirituality can help us appreciate the science of our being, not just our being, but the existence of what we have and have not experienced and what we can and cannot see. I'm sure everyone was moved and inspired as well. So thank you po again, Sister Bing. So for those with sharings, we still have much in store for you this afternoon. So hold it for the open forum.